Be it ghosts, spirits, or supernatural entities, you can never really what you might come across, especially when you are an uninvited guest. Get ready for some of the most scary paranormal moments caught on camera.
Oh shit, let's go fucking this way.
A man was sitting alone in his room using his phone when he suddenly felt like someone was outside his door. But that day, he was completely alone at home. He looked toward the window and saw a creepy woman staring at him from outside. The sight was enough to make him run away, but he didn't. Instead, he stayed still, almost as if he was used to her presence. After all, sometimes when you face something every day, the fear starts to fade, even when it's a ghost. Creeping terror. A group of Canadian urban explorers thought they were prepared for anything during their visit to an old psychiatric hospital, but as they approached an emergency door, just a few steps away, something horrifying happened. A head suddenly appeared, watching them with cold, lifeless eyes.
What the fuck is that? Look.
Before they could process what was happening, a strange figure crawled out from the shadows. It moved like a wild animal, stalking them with unnatural grace. Without warning, it lunged toward them. Panic set in, and the video cut off abruptly. To this day, no one knows what happened to the explorers after their terrifying encounter.
Oh shit, let's go fucking this way. Where'd the other guy?
Haunted park. A park known to be haunted after a late-night walker took notice of it, and the proof was shocking. Authorities noticed that the outdoor fitness equipment was moving as if someone was using it, but there was no one around. One after another, every piece of equipment appeared to be in use by invisible forces, as if ghosts were living in that park. But it didn't stop there. A swing captured attention when it began to swing wildly with someone on it. The movement was too wild for any human to replicate. Some places are better left undisturbed, or the consequences of disturbing them can be terrifying. Teleporting mystery. Sometimes things happen that make you look twice, like what this CCTV footage captured. Near a park gate, a woman seemed to appear out of nowhere beside a pillar and started walking casually, as if nothing unusual had happened. It looked like she teleported, or maybe it was a glitch in the Matrix. Nobody knows for sure, but it's one of the strangest things ever caught on camera. After watching this footage, you might start observing people around you a bit more closely, just in case. Haunted street. Not every quiet street is as peaceful as it seems. At around 2 a.m., a security camera caught a disturbing figure creeping down the street. Bent over completely, it moved slowly on all fours. The strange movements gave off a chilling vibe, leaving locals uneasy. Some believe this could be the ghost of a woman with a tragic past who now haunts the street. No matter the reason, the eerie presence has turned the once peaceful place into a spot that now fills people with fear. Ghostly passenger. A car camera captured a moment no one would ever want to experience. A man, driving alone, thought he was the only one in the car, until he looked back. Behind the seat, hiding and staring at him, was a baby ghost. Its creepy gaze seemed to suggest it had bad intentions. The man must have been terrified, and after watching the footage, it's clear he probably never entered that car again. After seeing that, would you? You'd think twice before getting back in, right? Creepy skinwalker. Locals went out to the field thinking it would be a peaceful night just like any other, but this time things were different. As they set up their camera, something strange was captured. It wasn't a crow or a sparrow, but a creature that seemed to be trying to hide, running quickly to avoid being seen. When they checked the footage, they realized it wasn't just any animal, it was a legendary skinwalker. The field seemed to have some connection with it, and after seeing that, the locals quickly left the area.
Lu lihat ya tadi, Mbak? Lihatlah.
Unseen presence. A CCTV camera captured an unusual moment with a horse. Everything seemed calm and normal at first, but then, out of nowhere, a light figure appeared and gently touched the horse's legs. The horse immediately reacted, almost as if it sensed something unseen, and the figure quickly disappeared. It was as if the animal knew something we couldn't even perceive. This strange event highlights how animals seem to have a heightened sense of things, allowing them to pick up on energies or presences that humans often miss. What could that figure have been? forest spirit. Cottages in the forest are usually quiet retreats unless you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. A man arrived at his forest cottage looking forward to some peace, but as he stepped out, he spotted a strange glowing light floating in front of him. At first, he thought it was just a flickering candle, but it didn't behave like one. Instead, it seemed controlled by some hidden force, or possibly it was the spirit of the forest itself. It moved up and down, then disappeared behind a wall. It was clear, the paranormal force didn't want him there.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Ghostly follower. You might have heard stories about ghosts following people, but this one isn't just a story. A man staying at a hotel returned to his room, but he wasn't alone. As he walked in, a dark, shadowy figure appeared behind him. When he looked back, the figure vanished into a door like a blur of smoke. It's unclear what he might have done to anger the ghost, but whatever it was, it seems like it's now following him. Roadside phantom. A driver recently shared a clip online claiming to have caught a ghostly figure crossing the road. The figure was semi-transparent and seemed to glide across before disappearing into the forest. As it reached the trees, it vanished behind them, leaving no trace. Some believe this could be the famous ghost of the woman in white, known to haunt roadsides. This wasn't the first time such a sighting has occurred, and likely it won't be the last. Midnight terror. A man thought he was alone on a quiet night, but what he saw left the whole village shaken. Late one night, a local came across a strange figure with a small head and a muscular body. It had long arms that seemed to drag along the ground as it moved. At first, the figure seemed to be walking away, but then, to the man's surprise, it turned around and started coming straight toward him. Terrified, he ran back to the village, and after that, no one felt safe walking outside after dark. Some villagers who dared to go out later even claimed they saw the figure too. Demonic encounter. A man, lost and desperate, wandered into a part of the forest he should have never entered. He suddenly felt something watching him, followed by the sound of a low growl. Before he could react, a terrifying figure appeared, horned, monstrous, and surrounded by others like it. These weren't your usual B-movie monsters, but real, terrifying demons. The video abruptly ended, leaving viewers to wonder what happened next. It seemed like this was the last video the man ever made. Whatever happened, it's clear he didn't make it out alive. Haunted fort. Historical places are often described as haunted, and this one proves it. A traveler exploring a historic fort at night noticed what looked like a child standing in a dark tunnel. At first, it didn't seem scary, but then its eyes began to glow. The traveler's dog started barking like crazy as if it sensed something wrong. When he looked back at the figure, it had turned into a monstrous creature and started approaching him. People believe it was the spirit of a child trapped there, now changed into a terrifying monster. The video ended suddenly. Perhaps he lost control of his phone or something more sinister happened, about which no one knows. Haunted Valley. A team of ghost hunters ventured into an abandoned valley, hoping to find proof of the supernatural. What they found was far more unsettling than expected. As they shone their torchlight, they spotted a dark woman sitting on the ground, surrounded by two small, demonic creatures that resembled Tuyul the mischievous spirit. Some believe the woman was cursed, while others think the demons were attracted to her negative presence. The hunters decided not to get any closer. This was enough for one night, but you can bet they'll be back, next time with better preparations. Creepy cargo. Some roads carry more than just cargo. They carry secrets too. On a remote road, known for strange sightings, a group of friends saw a truck hauling wood from the forest. But there was something else on the truck. A creepy figure sitting above the logs. Was it a ghost or a cryptid we've never seen before? The video they took wasn't clear enough to figure it out. Now, I believe that strange figure might have come out of the forest and into the town, closer to people than ever before. Haunted home. Paranormal beings seem to be everywhere, even in your own home. One night, a girl was alone in her room and decided to set up a camera to take a picture. Suddenly, she noticed something strange behind the curtains, a demonic figure watching her. She quickly moved the curtains aside, but no one was there. At first, she thought she might have imagined it, but when she reviewed the footage, she saw that the figure had been there. It was gone by the time she checked, but the camera had captured it. That moment was enough to convince her that whatever was hiding in her room wasn't just her imagination. Tiny demon. Ever notice how small things in your house go missing or disappear without a trace? One man had been dealing with this for a while, but one day, while going about his business, he caught something strange on camera. As he turned around, he spotted a tiny demonic creature cautiously walking behind him, trying its best to stay hidden. The creature seemed to be sneaking around his home, causing the strange disappearances and mischief. After realizing what was happening, the man knew he needed to take action and find a way to protect his home from that mischievous entity. Shadow encounter.
Euzubillahimineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yüzünü görüyor musun?
Curiosity got the better of a local who decided to explore an abandoned home. But what he found inside was far from normal. While looking around, a black shadow with glowing eyes appeared, peeking out from behind a wall. It was chilling to see, and it didn't look human at all. Many believe it was a jinn. The video capturing this eerie moment ended abruptly, leaving viewers in suspense. What happened next? Did the jinn vanish, or did it follow the man? Either way, it's a risk no one would want to take.
Euzubillahimineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yüzünü görüyor musun? Simsiyah.
Mysterious apparition. A man checked his CCTV footage, hoping to see his car, but what he saw next was beyond belief. In the middle of the street, out of nowhere, a blurry head appeared, with nobody in sight. As it walked, it left behind footprints that vanished as quickly as they appeared. The strange figure seemed to be connected to another dimension. Its head and disappearing footprints made it clear. It wasn't fully in our world, just passing through for a brief moment. This unusual sighting is enough to make anyone believe that paranormal beings are out there, existing among us. Silent stalker.
Andrew, what are you?
Children's innocence and sensitivity often make them more attuned to energies or presences that adults might miss. During a family trip to the mountains, while they were setting up a fire, a baby girl noticed a paranormal figure behind her father, silently following him. She pointed at it, but no one took her seriously. However, when they reviewed the footage later, they saw the figure for themselves. Believing it was something they shouldn't ignore, they decided to cut their camping trip short. Mysterious hand.
I like rusty spoons.
A bizarre video has taken the internet by storm. It shows a hand performing an unusual trick with a spoon. But here's the twist, this hand only has 3 fingers. These fingers are unnaturally long and stretched, unlike anything a human could have. As the video spread, it sparked intense debates. Some viewers think it could be evidence of a supernatural spirit, while others believe it might be linked to extraterrestrial life. No one knows for sure, but this eerie hand continues to puzzle everyone who sees it.
I like to touch them.
Restless spirit. Late one night, a man went for a walk, but he never expected to encounter this. A ghostly figure, completely covered in white cloth, was jumping up and down in the same spot like something was pulling it up and then letting it drop. It looked like a buried body had somehow escaped from its resting place. A restless spirit trying to break free. Terrified, the man wisely decided to head back home. Would you have been brave enough to get any closer? Probably not, and trust me, it's not a good idea. Spectral watcher? Have you ever felt like you're being watched? A foreigner decided to explore a creepy, abandoned house in broad daylight. But before even stepping inside, he unknowingly captured something terrifying. As he panned the camera across the outside of the house, a ghostly figure could be seen moving inside. According to locals, the house once belonged to an old man who refused to leave even after his passing. People believe his spirit still roams, protecting the house from anyone who dares to get too close. After seeing that figure, it's hard to imagine anyone would want to go in, would you? Barn scare.
The hell? That's so creepy! He's actually here, dude!
Two guys curious about the spooky stories they'd heard of a creature living in abandoned barns nearby decided to check one out for themselves. They flew their drone inside, hoping to catch something strange. Suddenly, the drone captured a terrifying sight. A gray figure hunched over, eating something in the shadows. It looked like a rake feeding in the hidden corners of the barn, but when it lifted its face, it resembled an alien, maybe stranded or hiding on Earth. Just as they were processing what they saw, the drone suddenly stopped working and the video cut off. You can't beat the supernatural with technology.
It's not... Bro, he's eating something!
Forest intruder.
What do you think that was? What was it? Do you see it where?
A family camping in the woods one night started hearing strange voices coming from the bushes. Thinking it might just be a wild animal, they decided to check it out. But when they looked, they saw something far more unsettling. There was a figure walking calmly, as if it didn't care who was around or whether it was being seen. It could have been a demon, or maybe even a skinwalker, but the family didn't stick around to figure it out. The wise choice: stay inside the camp, or who knows, it might just be your last encounter.
Holy crap.
What?
Mysterious beast. Trucks on the road carry goods, but one late night sighting revealed a scary passenger. A traveler noticed a black furry beast hiding in a truck that was moving toward the city. Its strange appearance made him believe it could be a spirit. Gathering his courage, he tried to communicate, hoping to ease the tension, but the creature stared directly at him, pointing with long, sharp claws, almost as if it was trying to speak back. The video cuts off here, but it's enough to prove some creatures in our world are best left unseen. Mysterious visitor. In the early hours of July 14th, 2024, a security camera in Craiova, Romania captured an unusual sight. A figure stepped out from behind a parked car. It was not your average late-night pedestrian. Its unusual appearance made it look more like an extraterrestrial being. Many believed it was a tired alien looking for rest, while some argued a supernatural entity that accidentally revealed itself to the world. Since that day, Craiova has become a place of mystery, with people left wondering what visited that night. Glowing figure.
Acabou de baixar aqui no Córrego Blay aqui, ó.
One day in southern Minas Gerais, Brazil, locals noticed a strange glowing light in the distance. Out of curiosity, they zoomed in with their camera and realized it wasn't just light, it was a humanoid figure glowing brightly. Its features were impossible to make out, but it resembled a similar entity spotted before at a construction site. People believe this eerie being might be moving from place to place, searching for a new home. Let's hope it doesn't pick somewhere too close for comfort.
Gente, ó. Acabou de baixar aqui no Córrego Blay aqui, ó.
Forest monster. On December 2nd, 2013, a local went for a walk in an Oregon forest and spotted a monstrous creature at a distance. It appeared to be a humanoid figure, searching for something on the ground, possibly clues related to its prey. Just as a cyclist passed by, the creature disappeared within seconds. Due to the poor video quality, no one could identify exactly what it was, but its size and shape suggested it might have been Bigfoot or something even more mysterious, like an alien. Trapped soul. A visitor exploring an abandoned temple had no idea what he was about to come across. As he was checking out the place, he noticed a creepy face staring at him from behind the wall. It didn't just stay there, it slowly started coming out of the hole, almost like it was trying to escape. Some say walls like these are used to trap spirits or keep evil at bay. Maybe that's exactly what was happening here. A cursed face trying to break free. Haunted home. Do you expect Chucky in an abandoned house? Well, let's just say this feels like a scene straight out of a horror movie. A man returned to his old home after years, only to come across something unsettling. As he walked up, he noticed a figure watching him through the window, almost as if saying, "This house is mine now, you better leave." The video quality wasn't great, but it was enough to show that something sinister had taken over the house. The man didn't stick around after that. Scary light show. A man visiting his cottage deep in the forest one evening was in for an unforgettable experience. As he stepped out, he noticed a strange light show, unlike anything he'd ever seen. It looked like a glowing flower with dancing petals, moving gracefully as if performing for an invisible audience. The eerie thing was, it seemed like the audience were ghosts, though no one was visible. Suddenly, the flower-like light sped away as if it sensed the man watching. In the blink of an eye, everything returned to normal, leaving him stunned and unsure of what he had just witnessed. Luminous visitor. A person from the comfort of his home managed to capture a strange appearance at a nearby construction site. A glowing, luminous being appeared in front of the site. It had no clear features, just a bright, glowing light. It seemed to have a strong presence, as if it was trying to communicate or send a message. Locals believed the construction site was once its home, and now it was showing its presence to stop the work being done there. The place was not as empty as it seemed to be before. Shapeshifter's Night. Hold on, something crazy just happened on a quiet street. A security camera captured a strange being roaming the street one night. At first, it appeared to be a black dog, but then, in an instant, it transformed into a dark, shadowy figure. The creature moved up walls like a spider, before jumping into the street. Just as quickly, it changed into a human and disappeared out of view. This series of bizarre transformations made it clear this wasn't just a random occurrence. It was a shapeshifter. Chilling presence. Sometimes the most unexpected visitors arrive when you least expect them. A video shared online recently captured a quiet winter morning, with everything appearing normal. But as the camera moved, the man filming it suddenly felt an eerie presence near the trash can. When he turned the camera back, he saw a shadowy, human-like figure standing still, completely motionless. It didn't seem like a person's. Perhaps it was a lost spirit that once roamed the area, or maybe something darker, like a demon was watching. Whether anyone else in the area had felt this presence remains unknown, but the chilling footage speaks for itself. Alien proof. An old video recently went viral showing authorities monitoring a restricted zone. They noticed what looked like a person moving inside, but something about it wasn't right. The figure didn't behave like a human. As soon as it realized it was being watched, it did something unbelievable. Started jumping incredibly high, far beyond what any human could do. Within moments, it vanished completely without a trace. The authorities later claimed it was an alien trying to hide in the sealed area. Honestly, they're way better at disappearing than we are at finding them. Cemetery warning. Ever had a feeling you disturbed something you shouldn't have? That's exactly what a group of workers at a construction site near a cemetery experienced one day. While working, they spotted a tall figure wrapped in cloth on the rooftop, standing still and watching them. It looked like a pocong, a legendary ghost from Indonesia, said to be the spirit of the dead, wrapped in a burial shroud. The workers believed their work had disturbed the spirit, and in response, it appeared before them. They wisely decided to abandon the project, and looking back, it was probably the best choice. Close call. You might have never had a close encounter with horror like this. A man was running down the street looking like he was being chased by something. Maybe a thief, maybe a wild dog. But then, something far more terrifying appeared behind him. A giant creature walking on all fours, trailing a large tail behind it. Some say it could have been a skinwalker or some other cryptid that we've never seen before. It seemed to come out of the nearby forest, showing itself for the first time. No one knows what happened to the man. To this day, no one has heard from him again. Creepy encounter. This video went viral, and for good reason. A team of explorers caught something truly creepy on camera. A dark, strange creature just roaming the mountains like it belonged there. The way it moved, with its long, twisted arms nearly touching the ground, made it look otherworldly. Some people think it could be an ancient guardian of the land, disturbed by the explorer's presence. Others, especially cryptozoology fans, called it a spirit walker, a supernatural being. A few even thought it might have been a ghoul. Whatever it was, those explorers will never forget this creepy encounter. Close encounter. In the forests of North America, a woodcutter was busy with his work when he suddenly spotted something massive behind a tree. The creature was so large that its height seemed to reach halfway up the tree. It was a dark figure, and in that moment, the woodcutter realized he might have just encountered a Bigfoot. The creature was scratching its back on the tree, completely unaware of the woodcutter standing nearby. Fortunately, it didn't notice him, or things could have taken a dangerous turn. The woodcutter quickly made his way out. Forest spirit. A video captured by a forest inspector shows something unsettling. The figure in the footage wasn't one of his fellow inspectors. It was far more eerie. Locals believe the figure was the spirit of a hunter, a man who entered the forest years ago to hunt but never made it out. They say his spirit still roams the area, unable to find peace. The inspector, unaware of the legend, unknowingly captured this haunting presence on film. It's a reminder that some spirits never leave their hunting grounds. Wandering soul. You never know what you might come across in the quietest of forests. In this case, some locals came across something they'd never forget. As they were walking through the woods, they noticed a figure standing still, perfectly motionless. At first, they thought it was just a statue, but when they got closer, they realized it wasn't a statue at all. It was a spirit, some lost soul of the woods that had finally shown itself. After that day, the forest felt different, and no one dared to enter again. As for me, I'll be staying away. Bending reality. Some things you see and you just can't explain. In a cafe, people were waiting in line for their food when a woman suddenly caught their attention. She looked around as if checking to make sure no one was paying too much attention to her. Then something bizarre happened. Her legs began to bend backward in a way that seemed impossible. At first, people thought she might just be incredibly flexible, maybe even double jointed. But as her legs twisted unnaturally, it became clear this was no ordinary flexibility. It was a paranormal event happening right in front of them. Open discussion. A team of paranormal investigators decided to explore an abandoned house known for ghost sightings. As they stepped inside and opened the first door, they were met with an eerie sight. A dark figure with glowing eyes was staring at them. Before they could react, chaos erupted. Chairs began dragging across the floor on their own, as if some invisible force was pulling them. No matter where they ran, the figure appeared in front of them, blocking their path. All the once open doors now stood locked. The video ended abruptly, leaving us wondering if they ever managed to escape. Think for a moment, if they did escape, they surely wouldn't be forgetting what happened inside that house anytime soon. Thank you very much for watching the video. Share in the comments and do like the video and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.